Pace together to stay in front of the 24 here.
Briscoe and Cindric, they're below the cut line coming in. They need points, stage points. Christopher Bell as well. Bell might not get there. He's still running in the 14th spot. But Briscoe and Cindric are inside the top 10 as Logano coming through 3 and 4 here. The 3 and 4 of the Charlotte Oval has the advantage still of 3 car lengths over William Byron. It closes up as they go through the front stretch chicane. But Logano is going to win stage 1 here at Charlotte. It's his 6th stage win this season, but only his first of the Rovol.
Yellow Ford top left. He said, I'm getting a lot of steering shake, guys. They said, tell us if it gets worse. The call, 4 tires, air pressure adjustment, Sunoco fuel, Dave.
Third place for Daniel Suarez. 8 important stage points right there. 4 tires and fuel cars, a little free, Marty.
9 critical stage points for William Byron. Bottom left of your screen. 4 fresh Goodyear tires here. Said when he caught the 22, the car was just a little too free and he felt like he had to protect the rear. Logano said, I got a lot going on. Said I lost rear drive the further that we went, and that was my biggest problem. Logano holds serve of those who pitted here on pit road, Rick, and many of
at the Rovol. Reddick and Allmendinger battling through 2.
That's a great point, Dale, because these guys we assume are going to do the same thing again. These guys are the race for the win, and it couldn't be
The playbook. Our car will be fast enough to pass them on track. We've got a great pit crew, and we'll try to pit him out of strategy. Remember, they were one of the first to come to pit road, pitting on lap 20. So far, so good to the plan for Russ.
Ross Chastain, one of the 5 drivers, as we heard Steve Phelps in Countdown to Green earlier today, talk about what an amazing feat. 5 first-time winners in the Cup Series this year, a part of that 19 different winners. Ross Chastain being one of those. Daniel Suarez was another. Tyler Reddick, another, a part of those 5 that have won their first Cup Series race this season in this next-gen car.
on board with Daniel Suarez, finished 3rd in stage 1. Now currently back in the 23rd position, trying to chase Joey Logano through traffic. Yeah, Joey's right there in front of him. Stenhouse is in front of Joey. And then Briscoe, who is sort of the leader of this group, the playoff drivers that came to pit road during the last stage. All those guys trying to find some track position, passing difficult though today. If there's no yellows to bunch this field up, I don't see these guys really progressing through the field.
Up front, the highest running Ford right now, the Rovol, is Michael McDowell. They're in that 5th position. Light blowing Ford F-150 Lightning is here. You could win one during the NASCAR playoffs. Scan the QR code now, or you can visit NASCAR.com/Ford Playoffs promo to get your chance to win the most innovative F-150 Ford has ever built. Allmendinger up front. Logano led 27 laps early. Allmendinger's been up front for 4. Reddick's been up front for 3.
But take that playoff point because they need to collect as many of those as they can. That would advance also with them to the next round as well. So they may try and win this stage and be willing to bury themselves back in traffic, Kim.
And Michael McDowell running in the 5th position. Crew Chief Blake Harris told me this morning they were going to be aggressive to get track position. We saw that when they short pitted stage 1. Expect likely the same out of this stage. He said they just need a little bit more drive off. Otherwise, this car really good. Feels like it's on rails as he runs ahead of Christopher Bell. Christopher told me this morning, he was honest. He said, I'm extremely deflated and down after the first 2 races in this round because they know they're capable.
Jeff, I don't know if it would be your thought on that race car. If it was a little bit tighter this run than the last time, spots like that would be tough to navigate if you were expecting the car to turn better than it did the first run.
Yeah, Dave, maybe just trying to carry the same speed and he just couldn't get the car turned.
After a difficult weekend for Ross Chastain, he currently is being shown 33 points above the cut line. And when he came in, Ross Chastain was 28 above that cut line. So really, Steve, the one team, unless they think they're going to go out there and win the race, they just need to make sure that they finish this race in a normal position, not wreck out of this race, but they could advance just by an average finish for the one team.
Well, and I think they're going to have some opportunity to score points right here because in about 4 or 5 more laps, I think we're going to see another huge wave of cars coming to pit road, and I believe that's going to create an opportunity for the one to score some stage points. We watched the 7 of Corey LaJoie miss the backstretch chicane with the 48. Both served their stop penalty, but the 7 has kind of faded back. Now he is kind of you see right there, smoking another tire. He is backed up right to the nose of these playoff drivers, and their patience are going to run very thin with the 7. The pressure's on the 24, the 12, these playoff drivers to get some spots.
And you talk about that 27 seconds it'll take Allmendinger and these guys to get on the pit road and exit pit road. A guy like Byron Blaney, they're 29, 30 seconds behind the leader of the race. So as Allmendinger and everybody comes to pit road before the end of the stage, they will get out on the racetrack in front of them, presumably.
And there are some drivers that have been able to drive up through the field. Briscoe, he's gotten himself to 17th. Carson, he's to 19th. Cindric, Hamlin, Blaney, they're 26, 27, 28. So some drivers can work through the field and others have not been able to.
Yeah, and I think Briscoe is going to score a whole bunch of points as we continue to see a great battle here between the 2 and the 11. The 18 of Kyle Busch, I believe, has come to pit road, taking a play out of the ones playbook from earlier. Come get some fresh tires a little bit earlier, trying to use them to his advantage off the rear bumper. The Toyota Cam of Denny Hamlin.
Marty, how about A.J. Allmendinger? Are they having problems with the shifter?
Well, closing in on pit stops here at the end of stage 2. They will plan to pit, but to your point, Rick, is there a problem on the 16? Listen in.
Second gear. I missed that. What did he say? Second gear. Just keep them calm here. Yeah, it's weird though. It just, for some reason, second gear. Wrap the piss out of it.
So what he is saying, Steve, is he's saying it's getting stuck in second gear occasionally, and it will way over rev the engine. It's happened 2 or 3 times now. Matt Swiderski, his crew chief, just told me that's my concern. I'm concerned he's done harm to the engine. A.J. Allmendinger in the lead right now at the Rovol.
Well, that's better than having no second gear. I thought no second gear, he's going to have a real trouble running pit road speed. That's the gear that the drivers use. Now, damage to the engine, always a concern. We'll have to check in. 5 laps to go in the second stage. Elliott stay out to win the stage, or do they pit right here and take the strategy to try to win the race? He'll be the 4th car. He's pitting, so he's going to give up the stage win to try to stay on strategy to actually try to win the race. And with these guys, brings everyone, if you can believe it. Kim.
And you see Tyler Reddick right there. He said, we cannot be any tighter, but this thing needs more forward drive off, a little air pressure adjustment as he finishes his service. 4 tires, no-go fuel, Marty.
A.J. Allmendinger coming on pit road gives up the lead, but just like a good coordinator, making an adjustment at halftime, Steve. Alan Gustafson giving up that playoff point because he saw it was so hard to come back up through the field. It was not worth it. So they're foregoing what they thought would be a sure playoff point for Chase Elliott to bring into pit road here and flip this stage.
Well, I think they're close enough to win this race, so I like this call for the 9 car. Try to win races. We talk a lot about points, but sometimes you want to try to win some races.
Well, that's 5 playoff points. If you win the race, you're trading 1 possible playoff point for 5 points.
And a trophy.
Yes.
And another race win when you get inducted into the Hall of Fame. And we talk a lot about this, but the goal is winning races, and I love the fact that the 9 is going to stick with that goal.
And now you got all these guys on old tires trying to get stage points, some new tires around them. The 8 car on new tires trying to get around this 14. Briscoe's going to try to fight hard. It's going to be tough to make this work, but the 8 car is going to get around him here. You also have Chase Elliott back there in 9th place, possibly driving up through these cars as the laps wind down here at the end of the stage.
Less than 2 to go from the Rovol for stage 2. We're right along the Mahindra tractors on board with Chase Briscoe.
So right here, we're going to kind of reset the field, right? So we see the 1 of Chastain coming into the picture. He's the leader. He's going to win this stage, kind of driving the way. 21 of Harrison Burton also stayed on the racetrack. Kyle Larson, playoff driver. He's going to run 3rd, barring a major issue in the final lap. A.J. Allmendinger was so fast, he's pitted and came back out to 4th, as Dan was mentioning. And then this right here is an absolute disaster. Old tires, new tires, playoff drivers. It is crazy to try to get to this final lap.
Suarez just took advantage of a good battle right there. Got in that front chicane, they all had some trouble. Suarez came out in the front.
Looking back, the Coca-Cola cam on Suarez's car. And a lot of chaos back there. Everyone fighting for position, even a little bumping and banging. Briscoe on the outside.
He's going to fight here, Rick. He wants to keep these positions. Going to have to give that one up.
Logano takes it away, but the bumper to the back of the 22 from Briscoe. And now the 9 also right on the back of Brian Blaney.
Blaney's going to get around on this 14. Can he get a little bit of a draft here? Close in on the braking zone. I don't think he'll be in position to be able to make a move here in this backstretch chicane. It's a tough chicane to race somebody into.
Blaney doing a little defensive move, making sure nobody behind him can make a move. See Cindric aggressive into here.
He grabs a couple spots away.
Byron in that 24 car trying to get around this 9. His teammate is Chase Elliott.
And Ross Chastain grabs the Stage 2 win. It's his first stage win on a road course, even though he's won at Coda and Talladega already this year. Harrison Burton finishing second in the stage. Larson getting points as well. Suarez, Logano, Briscoe, Blaney, all playoff drivers fighting for those points. Trying to get as many as they can, every position counting. Bank of America fan cam showing the fans here. One stage to go on this beautiful afternoon in Charlotte.